In 1991, the Soviet Union would collapse, calling an end to the Cold War and the United States' victory. But what if the USA lost? Well, to be honest, I don't know. But that's not really what this video is about. That was just like a hook and a bit of background info to make this video sound informational. But we're gonna have this Cold War ending where all the states gain independence, even though it's very unrealistic. Also, we're gonna ignore the fact that the USSR and NATO exist in this, as the world apart from the Americas isn't important for this scenario. But to get started, myself, Swiss Cinnabar, becomes the leader of Pennsylvania. And the first action that'll be done is a short team up with New York State to end possibly one of the worst things ever created in human history. That's right, New Jersey. New York begins the invasion through the north, and Pennsylvania almost instantly captures Trenton and quickly splits the country in two. With this, in the matter of only a mere month, New Jersey will fall and is split between the two giants. With all this momentum up, Pennsylvania doesn't stop though. The next step is south. They go straight to war with Maryland and Delaware. This isn't exactly the smartest decision though, as this is a harder target than New Jersey, and they don't even have New York by their side, but they go in anyway. The first move is to quickly separate Delmarva from the rest of Maryland, and then moving south to capture Delaware. Maryland will do some moves into Pennsylvania, but it will be dealt with soon after. Once Delmarva falls, the attack on Maryland happens. As this war has already been going on for 2 to 3 months and only Delmarva has fallen, the two Virginias, like West Virginia and East Virginia, will unite out of fear and warn Pennsylvania that there will be heavy consequences if they go any more south further than Maryland. But in the end, Maryland does eventually fall, and both them and Delaware are fully annexed. To look at some stuff that has been happening nearby, Connecticut and Rhode Island reunited, and Michigan is going to war with Wisconsin. And normally I wouldn't really talk about that, as there are some stuff going on in the other states, which I'm not really touching on. But this is important as Pennsylvania sees this as an opportunity, as New York is a giant and the Virginian Union is heavily opposing them. So as this starts, Michigan is slightly stronger than Wisconsin, but with Pennsylvania's help, over the course of a few months, Wisconsin falls. And with this, Michigan and Pennsylvania have great diplomatic relations. Looking back over to the east, the Connecticut-Rhode Island Union and Massachusetts unite, making a giant, what even is this region called? Like New England, but like this is just like, we're just gonna call it the Connecticut Union, okay? As well as New Hampshire and Vermont also uniting, but this would be put down shortly as New York would declare on them only a month after them. To give a better time frame, this is 2 months after the Michigan and Wisconsin war ended, and I guess by now it's like 1993-ish. Once again, the year in global affairs aren't too important for this, but New York will begin to push in very quick. With this, the Union moves their capital from Montpelier, which was the capital of Vermont, to Concord, which is the capital of New Hampshire. But even that won't buy them much time. Maine begins to fund them secretly as they don't want New York to threaten them and border them. Still, that doesn't help even stop the movement much. That is, until Pennsylvania declares war on New York, with Michigan backing and funding them. Although some pushes by Pennsylvania are made through the north, the main spearhead is to connect to the Connecticut Union, as once that's reached and Long Island is cut off, Connecticut Union will join against New York. And quickly, this is achieved by Pennsylvania. Pushes begin to slowly be made back by Vermont as well. And also, New York City, I feel like they probably wouldn't just let that happen, but we're just gonna kind of have it that way. But quickly, after a joint push from all three countries, the two unions in Pennsylvania, the capital of Albany is taken. And this war was probably like 6 months or so. But despite Pennsylvania in this peace treaty almost doubling in size as the country is split between the three, with Pennsylvania by far getting the most, this is also actually really good for their diplomacy, as much of the region sees Pennsylvania as like a savior to the New England area, which, speaking of, after this, Maine unites with the Vermont Union, and eventually the Connecticut Union will join too, as they form New England. And it's looking great for Pennsylvania, as they get Long Island too, although that area is a bit unstable. The only country that doesn't fall for this is Virginia, as they still see Pennsylvania as their number one enemy. But that's where we're going to see this video end off for the first part of this series. To look at the rest of the USA, Alabama and Mississippi unite, so do the Carolinas, although the Carolina unification was a lot more sketchy. Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana unite, although I don't know how much Oklahoma and Louisiana would want to actually do this, and how much they were forced to. Mexico takes Arizona. I know there's horrifying borders, but just trust the process. And then California takes over Nevada, and Canada takes Alaska, Montana, and Washington. And Michigan and Pennsylvania form the Eastern U.S. Accord, even though it's not the U.S. anymore. Just them for now, but there's big plans. So there's gonna be like a 3-part series. This first episode was pretty short, only like 7 minutes long. But the next episodes are gonna be like 10 minutes. This is kind of like a pilot, I guess. Not too much goes down in this one. But, thanks for watching, I guess. Yeah.